Today I'm going to talk about shoulder pain during the bench press, and I'm going to tell you what you can do about it. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? It's Blake Bowman here with GuerrillaZen Fitness, and in today's video what I'm going to be discussing are two common mistakes that people make when bench pressing that can lead to shoulder pain and also make shoulder pain worse if you already have it. After I go over the two mistakes, I'm then going to show you an alternative pressing exercise that you can do that will work your chest muscles but spare your shoulders. So the two biggest mistakes that people make when they are bench pressing that contributes to shoulder pain is one, flaring out the elbows, and two, lowering the bar down too deep for their anatomy. Now let me break these things down for you in a little more detail. Alright, so breaking down mistake number one in more detail, what people will oftentimes do to get more stretch of their pectorals when they're doing bench press, and I've seen this written about on blogs on like bodybuilding.com, which is not a good thing because this is very bad advice in my opinion, but oftentimes what people will do is they'll flare out their elbows in order to stretch their chest more, okay? Or maybe they'll just do that and they're not even aware of it, but basically it looks like this, okay? Right here, this is very bad for your shoulders, okay? What is happening when you're actually pressing like this is you're putting your arm bone into an internally rotated position, okay? See how this part of my arm is turning in as soon as I bring my elbow up to 90 degrees with my body, okay? You're internally rotating your arm. And what this can do is this can cause something called bilateral impingement. Bi means double. So this can cause impingement on both shoulders when your arms are up in this position, okay? This is actually, a manual test that doctors will do. They'll have you do this, which is basically what you're doing when you're raising your shoulders up during a bench press to confirm whether or not you have impingement syndrome, okay? So you shouldn't be doing that with your elbows because, like I said, when you are grabbing a bar and you raise your elbows up, that arm bone is twisting in, you're internally rotating your shoulders and potentially causing bilateral impingement of both of your shoulders, or just one of them maybe. Okay, a better way to actually bench press, and power lifters know this, but is to actually keep the elbows inwards a little bit more, okay? This will externally rotate the arms a little bit relative to this, and it will take some of the loading off of your shoulders. So, what I usually tell my clients, mind you, I'm not a power lifter, but what I like to have my clients do is bring the elbows into about like 75 degrees, okay? And push from there, right? Not flared out here, not all the way into the ribs either. About 75 degrees right here. This feels nice and easy, and I can feel a very good contraction on my pecs, which is where you want, with very minimal loading of the shoulder. So again, mistake number one, flaring out the elbows, which internally rotates the arms, right? You should not be flared out, it should be about 75 to 80 degrees. Okay, so now I'm gonna cover mistake number two, which is lowering the bar down too deeply for your anatomy. All right, so mistake number two is actually lowering the bar too deep, too far down, okay? And what this has to do with is the joint capsule, okay? Which is basically ligaments in the front of your shoulder. And basically, if you lower the bar down all the way down to your chest, and you're a male, females typically have more mobility in their shoulders and they can do this a little bit more safely than males can, but typically if you're a male and you come down all the way to the chest with the bar, what you're actually doing deep down like this is you're stretching the ligaments in the front of your shoulder out, okay? And that's a big problem because ligaments are kind of like, plastic grocery bags. Basically, if you stretch them out, they don't, even if you stop stretching them out, they don't normally resume their, shortened position. They kind of stay stretched out and like loose, lax, okay? And that's a big problem with the shoulders because if you develop, what's called capsular laxity in your shoulder, that's a big, precursor to injury. It's a big contributor to lots of different shoulder injuries and dysfunctions, right? So basically, a good rule of thumb is to stop about 2 finger widths, if you're a male, above your chest as you're bench pressing, okay? So about right here, and then you push back up. Right here, push back up, right? Don't come all the way down to the chest. And in case you're wondering, this is not going to affect your muscle contraction, okay? Lowering the bar 2 inches or 2 finger widths lower is not going to give you any more pectoral contraction. It's not going to make you any stronger. There's no added benefit from doing that, basically. So save your shoulders, stop at least 2 finger widths above your chest if you're a male. If you're a female, you should probably this is still a general protocol to follow, but that is the second most common mistake. Lowering the bar down all the way down to the chest is just not necessary. You know, the pros of it do not outweigh the cons. In fact, it's the opposite. So in my opinion, it's just not worth doing. Old school people will still tell you if you don't touch the bar to your chest, you're cheating, that rep doesn't count. And you know, that kind of thinking is just really, you know, somebody that makes that statement is just not aware of shoulder mechanics and how the joint is, you know, meant to operate. That being said, I'm not going to talk any more about how deep to lower the bar because I made a video a long time ago, like 2 years ago I think it was, where I discussed this in detail. I also show you an exercise that teaches you how far you can go down specifically for your shoulders. Okay, I made that a long time ago, like I said, but what I'll do is I'll link back to that video at the very end of this video within like the last 20 seconds. But if you want to get to it now, I've also included a link in the description down beneath this video. Alright, so I went over the 2 mistakes that people make when benching, and now I'm going to show you an alternative pressing exercise. So let's say, you know, you made those 2 modifications to your form and your shoulder's still bugging you, then try this out because this exercise is still a horizontal pressing exercise just like a traditional barbell bench press. However, it's a lot easier to do on the shoulders. Alright, so this is neutral grip dumbbell chest press. You can do this with dumbbells. You can also do it with a barbell that has a neutral grip. I forgot what they're called. They're kind of weird looking barbells. Depending on the gym that you work out at, you might have access to one. That works too. Basically, whatever type of equipment that you're using, you want to be able to position your hands so that your thumbs are pointing up like this. That basically puts the arm bone into a better position in the socket because you're more externally rotated, okay? So the further you're internally rotated, the more it's going to bug your shoulder, right? So holding onto weights with a completely neutral grip like this, you'll find out when you try this, it feels a lot better on your shoulders. So to do this with dumbbells, basically you start with dumbbells on your lap and you're just going to perform this very similarly to how you would perform a regular you know, bench press or dumbbell bench press, except you're going to keep the dumbbells parallel with each other just like they are right now, right? So lean back. This barbell might be in the way. No, it's not in the way. Lean back, keep the core braced, keep the glutes active. Right here, load up the chest, exhale, press straight up, right? Right now, you know, I barely feel any tension on my chest at all, or my shoulders rather. This feels really good. Could probably do this with a lot more weight than what I'm doing right now. And like I said, this is just a great alternative movement to, you know, barbell bench press. Sometimes you'll have soft tissue, you know, damage in your joint, right? And you could have, you know, done this a long time ago. It could have been a chronic thing. But sometimes you can make all the modifications that you want to the way that you're performing barbell bench press and you still can't find relief from it. So this is a great exercise to do. If you've, you know, exploited all of your options with the barbell bench press and none of them really seem to have made it any easier for you to do, try this because like I said, this is a great pain-free version of a horizontal pressing movement that's going to work the same muscles as, you know, a bench, but a lot easier on your shoulders. Like I said, this is a great movement because it puts the arm bone, it positions the arm bone in a more neutral position in the socket. And like I said, this just is generally a lot better feeling on the shoulders. Most people with shoulder issues will tell you that, you know, they can do this while they still might not be able to do barbell bench press. I really hope you enjoyed this video and it helped you out with your bench pressing. Alright, so if you want to take extra steps beyond this video to bulletproof your shoulders and make sure that they stay healthy well into old age, then there are 3 critical exercises that you need to be doing a part of your routine to do that. What these 2 exercises focus on improving is the position of the shoulder as well as something called joint centration, which basically these 2 things are prerequisites to healthy shoulders that last long. If you want to see those 3 exercises, then I can show you them right away. All you need to do is open up the description down beneath this video, click the first link available in the description, and then what that will do is it'll take you to my website where I'll ask you for your email. As soon as you enter in your email, I'll send you straight to those 3 exercises. If you're watching this on mobile or an iPad or any other device other than a computer, then you can also get to that same web page right over here using this button. Just hover over that with your mouse and hit download. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that over here. And if you want to see more videos on this topic, then check out this video right over here.
Other than that, as always, appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.